Hi everyone, welcome to TFPop, the Final Point's new pop culture show here on YouTube. I'm joined by our pop culture expert, Alex Radu. Alex, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing alright. Well, in case you didn't know, the last week saw the Oscars party, and man, did we see a whole bunch of nominations. And for the most part, I think people were happy with how the awards played out. Now, Alex, what movies did you particularly like?
No, I didn't see all of the Oscar-nominated movies. Of the for Best Picture. Um, I did see American Hustle and Wolf on Wall Street. Those were fantastic. Um, American Hustle, I think I like better just because I think just the star power in it, like the acting was just phenomenal around, just all across the board, and just like seeing like Robert De Niro just like show up out of nowhere. I was like, what? Why is he's barely here? Like, why is this here?
Yeah, that was an
And it,
amazing out of nowhere cameo that no one knew what's gonna happen.
exactly. And I mean, like the Wolf on Wall Street was really good too.
Mhm.
Um, I get why everyone's like, oh, Leo needs an Oscar and all that, but my favorite part of that movie is Matthew McConaughey's part when he was doing chest thumping. So,
Mhm. There we go. There we go. For
exactly.
me, I really loved her. I thought I was very glad it won best screenplay. I
Mhm.
loved it absolutely. I wasn't sure how I felt about American Hustle, and I kind of felt glad that it didn't win an award per se for the screenplay because the acting was on point. But the story really wasn't there until the last
Yeah,
what,
that's true.
10 minutes until the end, and then you were like, "Oh, so now I understand what was going on." But even then it wasn't like an Inception kind of wrap up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was definitely good. Like the story for American Hustle is by no means really any better than any of the other ones. I mean, if you're going just for like emotional impact, I mean, obviously, then 12 Years a Slave gets that easily. But I mean, I don't think overall of any of the movies did. I think American Hustle had the best acting. But I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
but you can't really compare when you have that lineup though.
Yeah, you have Christian Bale, you have Amy Adams, you have Jennifer Lawrence, you have the best actor whose name rhymes with Sadly Pooper.
Of course. So I mean, you can't.
It's a
I
close
just don't feel like you
race.
can't compare. Yeah.
Right, right. But I mean, of course, the movie that every kid has been talking about, the
Not
one
just
that
kids. Not
featured,
just
not just kids, the one that featured the lovely, wickedly lovely Adele Azim. Now,
Frozen.
Frozen, is it too quick to call it to call it a Disney classic?
Oh, I mean, I think it's too early. Obviously, I mean, it hasn't even been out for a year yet. But uh,
It just
it
crossed
is.
the $1 billion threshold
Yeah,
in
I
the
mean, it is.
international box office.
I mean, I think it's still like a long way off from necessarily, like Cinderella, stuff like that. But it is. I mean, it's probably one of my favorite movies. Granted, I do love Let It Go, probably too much.
Who doesn't love Let It
Um,
Go?
I don't know. I don't know. Actually, it's people who really don't have any souls.
essentially, essentially.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go on to TV shows. This week marked a pretty big week for USA Network with the revival of Suits. Now, I know you only watched the first season, but
Yes.
luckily for most people, the first two seasons and the first half of season three are all found on USA Network. On the other hand, today is
Unless you
Thursday.
live in Canada, in which
Unless you,
case
well,
you're shit out of luck.
our USA Network is where it's at. Freedom. I can't hear you over the sound of my freedom, my lovely Canadian neighbor. Anyway, but the Thursdays are also community days, and today's episode
Yes.
was rather hilarious, I must say.
It was. I really enjoy how this season, uh, they are just taking the smallest things and then blowing them completely out of proportion. Just getting like because all of the best episodes of like season one, two, three. I mean, we're not going to talk about season four. Um,
What's season
they're
four?
all exactly. Uh, like all of the best episodes are when like these campus-wide changes and it's just completely ridiculous. And this is like the fifth time we've seen this already this season. Um,
Yeah, and we've
it's
had the Ass Crack Bandit, we've had the floor is lava, and now we have this. It's just Dan
yeah,
Harmon is
it's I
pulling
mean
out all the stops.
exactly. I mean I was talking about this earlier with my roommate, and it's just um I like the fact that because of the 13 episode season, that they can put more into each episode. I mean, like, their budget is probably definitely bigger per episode than as if it was, a 22 episode season. But so like it's creating all of these huge episodes like this one. But I mean, everyone wants more community. I mean, we need
Everyone loves
6 seasons in a movie. That's all I want. I don't care if it's no more. I just want that.
That's really all we want, and we also want Britta with more mustard on her face. Apparently,
exactly. I don't know what she's saying if she doesn't have mustard on her face. I don't know.
I
if you
literally cannot understand her without mustard on her face.
Nope, it doesn't. It just doesn't rhyme.
No. And now let's go over to the quick book section. Now, Alex, you were recommending a book that was recently published. Give us a
it came out. All right, so it's a book called Red Rising. I'll just lift it up here for everyone. Red Rising. It's by Pierce Brown. He is a new author. This book just came out January 28th. It's more of a sci-fi fantasy book than really a young adult teen novel. And it brings the best description I saw from it was it takes the best parts of Hunger Games, Ender's Game, and the Lord of the Flies. It is.
Well, now you just piqued my interest.
Yeah, it is. It takes the It just so basically it's about a caste society in the future, about 700 years in the future, and everyone is put out into the world depending on their color. Red being the lowest, gold being the highest. Red, just your average picture. Picture Captain America in the first Captain America movie before he became Captain America.
Oh, poor Steve Rogers couldn't even get a date.
Exactly. And then if you look at the golds, the highest, they're like the Roman gods of society. They're all these huge titans of people who lord over everyone else, and they rule the solar system. And it takes place on Mars, and it's about this one Red who rises up, and it is a brilliant story. Some might say it takes a little too much from the Hunger Games, but it doesn't rely on what it takes from the Hunger Games too much. So it's a great story. It's new. It's going to be a 3-book series, and everyone should read it.
I'm already putting it down on my to-read list. For me, I'm going to go with the more traditional YA route just because this marks almost the 1-year anniversary of the publishing of Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell, who's a friend of mine and an absolutely amazing author. This is one of my favorite books of all time. It brings you in with the first sentence. If you'll indulge me real quick, the first sentence of this amazing book is, he stopped trying to bring her back. She only came back when she felt like it, in dreams and lies and broken down deja vu. I mean, if you want a better beginning to that than a young adult fiction book, it's a story about a boy and a girl in the 1980s falling in love, and then parents and situations trying to break them up, but in a very real way and a way that really hits home. It makes you remember why you fell in love with books in the first place.
Yeah, it sounds like a great book. I know she was just given an award for that book. Is that right?
Yeah,
or was it
just won the Prince Honor Award. Good call.
Yeah, and yeah. So I mean, I know Rainbow Rowell, is a fantastic author, and I know she has a lot of really good books, or a few good books. And that is also. I remember you suggested that to me months ago, so it is still on my list.
Yeah, don't we all have lists? Anyway, to wrap it up, let's do a quick comic take. Now, Alex, what kind of comics have you been reading over in the DC universe?
Lately I just finished the newest Justice League Volume 3, which just shows that Aquaman is the greatest person in the world, and everyone should believe it. He is, though. He's the king of Atlantis, and no one gets it because he's so cool. And he really could just kill everybody if he wanted to. So, and also, I mean, I'm really high on the Wonder Woman train. I really like what they're doing right now with Wonder Woman, the whole Greek god kind of thing. And I think everyone should pick up Wonder Woman right now. It's in a pretty good spot. It was just a little slow last few issues, but it's picking up again. And if you're into, I mean, a really powerful female figure who kicks major ass, you should definitely pick up Wonder Woman.
So I hear. On the Marvel side of things, Miss Marvel came out with a new character for Miss Marvel last month, and in a few weeks it'll come up again. I'm really looking forward to issue 2. Issue 1 was amazing. A lot of stuff are going in the Ultimate Universe. We just finished up the Cataclysm arc with issue number 5, and it looks like Spider-Man's going to go in a new direction. Captain America may or may not be dead. We might have a new Ultimates group. Who knows? In the 616 side, in the main Marvel universe, we have Spider-Man, who's been taken over by Dr. Octopus for the past year, is finally facing down the Green Goblin in a battle for New York City. And it looks like it's going to be the end of Superior Spider-Man in the next few issues because The Amazing Spider-Man with Peter Parker is supposed to come back. So it's going to be a thrilling end to what's been a pretty upward series. I'm looking forward to how they're... It started off slow, but I'm really enjoying where it's now, and I'm really looking forward to how they're going to end it.
Sounds good. I've heard Spider-Man's going places, so...
I mean, it's one of the most iconic comic book series of all time.
Yeah, I heard it's coming back with a vengeance, so...
Definitely, definitely. And speaking of endings, that's the end of our very first TFPop show. So if you liked, please subscribe over here. Please hit the like somewhere down there. You can follow us on Twitter at our handles and visit our content. We're a site, you know, and we have stuff on sports, entertainment, books, everything at thefinalpoints.com. Until next time, I'm David Chough with Alex Radu, and this has been TFPop.
See